are done in time, may be expensive. You think markets overall would take it positively, intent coming in from the government?
Surely, I think the ball has been set rolling. I think the conclusion of this will certainly be viewed very positively, and it will set the tones for further expectations from the government and the next round, because this round of auctioning of mines are basically, I think, they are just trying to, most of the mines are the existing mines and the operating mines. So they are the ones which will not make such a material difference. Of course, there will be some small change in the ownership, the cost will go up. But more important, I think the next round of auctioning of the mines will be something which will be watched for very closely. So yes, this will be considered as a positive for the markets, and I think as usual the markets will be expecting much more.
Right, much more in terms of expectations are also there from the budget. We were talking to our earlier market guest. They highlighted some of the things that they would be looking in for. What would you be looking in out from the budget? It's just about 45 days away.
Well, I think couple of factors which we will be focusing on, that what will be the clarity that will be there to see that the infrastructure project, which is one of the biggest which gives one of the biggest multiplier to the economy, how that is being, what policies and what rollout is going to come out, what is the kind of amount that they're earmarking, and in what period are they going to really award it and monitor it. So, you'll have the complete, the cycle which will begin, the construction activities, the bank credit. So it's going to be this is what we will be looking for, one. Second, of course, I think we all will be looking for is that what steps government is going to take to revive this economy. Whatever government is doing is something which is needed at the moment in terms of loosening the controls, putting the policies in place, but they are not adequate to revive the economy. What we'll be looking for is how do they pump prime the economy. So is it that just by merely cutting the plan expenditure that are we going to meet the fiscal deficit? I think that will be a disappointment. So what we'll be looking for is how this pump priming will happen, and how this fiscal targets, whether they are going to be slightly elongated or slightly loosened up. All those things we'll be looking for. But most important, what steps will lead to the revival of this particular economy, which is what is really required. And of course, another huge multiplier impact is the real estate. So, the smart cities that they're talking about, the houses for the poor, they can really trigger off a good amount of investment. And once again, as what I'm repeating, the multiplier impact in terms of the salaries and in terms of the cash flows. So I think that all these three will be looked very closely in the budget, apart from whatever that they're talking about, say realigning some of the loans of the PSU banks to the life of the assets, whether it is infra or whether it is the real estate. These are some of the things which everybody will be having an eye on at the moment.
So basically you would be looking at an intent for growth and the triggers for that, as well as a quality and a trustable fiscal deficit number. Dilip, can you hear me? I think there is some technical issue with Dilip Bhatt's link. We'll just get him back. In the meanwhile, if you look at the markets, 25 points higher for the Nifty, and about PSUs, they are leading the way. Autos also doing decently well. We spoke about Bharti extensively. We spoke about HUL. PSU banking names are doing essentially quite well in today's trading sessions. And one space that is doing well is the entire auto pack. And names like Maruti, Bajaj Auto, all of them are decent gains since today morning. Okay, Dilip Bhatt is back with us. So Dilip Bhatt, essentially, what we would be looking at is largely an intent of growth being showed by the government, as well as a quality and trustable fiscal deficit number?
Well, yes, I think somewhere the fiscal deficit number is being overplayed for the fears of, inviting the frowns of some of the rating agencies. But I think this is one area where probably government should work closely with them to ensure that, even the fiscal consolidation targets are not too much of a constraint to revive an economic growth. I think that is the trade-off, and the balancing, how they do between the two, is going to be very crucial.
Right. So that is something that you would be looking in from the budget. But apart from that, there is also, a global market that we are living in, and that is not looking in quite great. A lot of events lined up, ECB easing, maybe Fed increasing rates sometimes in the next 6 or 7 months. How do you think will it play for the Indian market? Do you think India will be a beneficiary because it may not get impacted that badly? Or do you think global market sell-off will lead to very high amount of redemptions in India?
Pankaj, I think it's a very difficult question to answer, but certainly the Indian markets, the way they are positioned in a one-way rise that our Indian markets have shown, they certainly become vulnerable to whatever happens internationally, because internationally, the falling of the oil prices, I think they're all pointing towards a strong deflationary signal. The slowing of growth, the recession into which Japan has slipped into, Europe continues to be in chaos. I think which rub-off effect will come where to India, that will be difficult to say. But yes, the sum effect of that, one can say India will remain vulnerable to what happens globally. The turmoil may also take its toll, and so that certainly acts as one of the very uncertain and a strong deterrent factor for a runaway rise in the Indian markets.
So you would be cautious, slightly advising to book some profits off the table?
Well, in a run-up to the budget, I would still root for something that markets will remain buoyant in a run-up to the budget. So a pre-budget rally, which I have been talking about for quite some time now, I think that is what maybe has already started. There may be some ups and downs, there may be some volatility. So in a run-up to that, yes, I think one should remain invested. One should rather buy into that. But just on the eve of the budget, one should be a little more careful. And, Pankaj, if you see that there could be some partial booking of profits here and partial booking of profits there, that of course is an ongoing process. But your portfolio should also have some of the good front lines, whether it's IT, whether it's FMCG, or whether it's pharma, to provide the support and resilience to your portfolio. So that's why, if you see even today, I from whatever valuation gap that we see, the valuation gap between the frontline stocks, which from whether it's FMCG or whether it's pharma or any of these names, I think their valuation gap has only increased as compared to the rest of the pack, whether you take some of the private banks as an example. So that only shows that people are, as it is, are building in a good amount of caution at the same time while participating in the bull markets.
If you look at HUL, the numbers were not particularly that great. How would you position yourself for HUL? It's buzzing in today after 2 days of correction. You think most of the defensives would behave like this if numbers are slightly on the lower side?
I think maybe there could be some temporary reaction to some of these stocks, because the way they have gone up and the way they are quoting at if you take even the P multiples, even assuming that they generate a good amount of free cash and the very high ROEs. So there could be some temporary reaction. But all said and done, these stocks, whatever value they are quoting at, they will be required as a part of your portfolio to give a good amount of defense. So I'm really not worried that maybe on the results there might be some amount of profit booking, some amount of sell-off, but I think people will still continue to look for these stocks with a lot of confidence.
Right. Do you like private banking names? All of these numbers, the last we spoke till now, we've had IndusInd, Yes, Kotak, as well as Axis declaring numbers. Are you happy with the numbers, and would you be biased into private banks?
Once again, private banks are the ones which will probably continue to be relatively much better as compared to the PSU banks. So yes, I think you certainly will like to own all these names which you have spoken about, whether it's HDFC Bank, HDFC, ICICI Bank, Axis, IndusInd, or Yes Bank. Some of these will, I think, Kotak, these will continue to attract a good attention. And I think their results, a few of them which have come out to the numbers, have been fairly okay and decent, as compared to PSUs, where the numbers will still come in maybe after a gap of couple of quarters. So I think private sector banks is a must, but if we have to play a major delta, I think that will be provided by the PSU bank, but maybe slightly on a longer term basis over a couple of quarters.
PSU banks are buzzing in today. Would you like to stick with the large caps ahead of numbers?
Of course, I think in the PSU banks, it's better to be in the frontline banks like the SBI, and maybe after that something like the entire second line frontline PSU banks, whether it's BOB, BOI, PNB or Union Bank. I think all of them probably should be a part of your portfolio. You can make a basket out of it and maybe you can invest in them.
Right. Dilip, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon on NDTV Profit. I hope you have a great day ahead. Always a pleasure talking to you. If you look